Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I am super excited for this video because I'm going to be doing an almost full face of Ofra Cosmetics, just chatting about some new launches, some of my favorite products from them ever, and just showing you how to get this look. This video is actually sponsored by Ofra Cosmetics, which doesn't even feel real to say just because I've loved Ofra for so long. I've been using their products for so long, so I'm just really excited to be working with them today. And I actually do now have an affiliate code for Ofra Cosmetics on their website. I did want to share with y'all really quickly the new collection they just launched. I believe it's called the Ride or Die collection, and there are 3 different blush and bronzer duos, as well as 3 different liquid blushes, which I was so happy about. I do already have an Instagram video up showing face swatches of all of the liquid blushes and then the powder blushes in the duos, in case you want to see what they all look like on the cheeks. I will be demoing some of them today, but not all of them, obviously, because I only have one face, unfortunately. So now let's go ahead and jump right on in. So I already went ahead and did my foundation, concealer, and brows off camera, but I did want to mention that I used the Ofra liquid foundation in the shade White Porcelain, and I used this to mix in with a foundation that's a little bit too dark for me. I've been testing this out and really enjoying it because I feel like it's not too thick. It just helps me get my foundation color to what I need it to be without really changing the consistency or the formula. I know you can't tell because I'm wearing a turtleneck right now, but it really does help me match a little bit better because unfortunately I own a decent amount of foundations that are just not the perfect shade for me, so I'm sure a lot of you can relate. I've been enjoying that. So let's go ahead and jump on into eyes. I'm going to start off with the Ofra Eye Gel Primer. You can see I've used like 2/3 of this up and I've had it for a little bit now, but this is a pretty decent eye primer if you like more of a sheer formula. If you don't want to get any coverage out of your eye primer, I feel like this is just a decent one all around. It helps my shadows stay longer without fading or creasing or anything like that. So I'm just gonna blend that in with my finger. So the eyeshadow palette that I'm gonna be using today is the Empowered palette, and I really like this one because it's such a cute little grungy color story. It's definitely what I would gravitate towards. So these are the 2 mattes in the palette. There's like a mustardy kind of baby pukey brown and a grungy green. And then there's 2 satin shades. One is like this really pretty soft taupe. And I actually really like that one for an all over like one shadow and done kind of look, which I don't do as much, but it's actually really nice. And then there's a chartreuse satin and kind of like a metallic light green highlighter. I guess I can just go ahead and swatch these for y'all real quick. There's the first 3 shades. And then here are the mattes. So it's just a cute, very subtle, grungy color story. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start off with this brown first. And I'm just gonna throw that right into my crease. And lightly blending upwards. I feel like if you are getting into grungy tones for the first time, then this would be a really nice palette just because it feels very beginner friendly. I feel like it's definitely more on the buildable side, and the mattes are a little bit more powdery, which I feel makes them easier to blend. I'm gonna go ahead and dip into this green, and I'm gonna focus that on the outer V and just kind of blend it in a little bit. I'm also gonna run that shade along my lower lash line, just building it up a little bit. Okay, so now because I think it'll be fun, I'm gonna go in with that chartreuse satin, and I'm just gonna throw it all over the lid. I'm actually using the same blending brush as before, and I'm just gonna throw it on and build it up a little bit. Like I said, this is more of a satin, so it's definitely more on the subtle side. I think I'm actually gonna dip into a little bit of the green highlighter and just kind of top that over. And then I'm going to grab some more of the green highlight on my pencil brush and focus that on the inner corner. So there is a super quick look with the Empowered palette. I really love the greens. Like I said, this is something that's a lot more on the subtle side, and I feel like if you want more of like a wearable version of grunge, then that is what this palette gives. So now let's go ahead and jump on into mascara, and I'm really excited about this because this is the Ofra HD Volumizing Mascara, and it's actually so good. I'm like, why is nobody talking about this mascara? I tried it for the first time maybe 2 weeks ago, and I've been using it consistently since then. I just feel like it gives a lot of volume and length, and it just does so much for my stubby little lashes. So there's what the wand looks like. I mean, it doesn't really look like much, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do the mascara on one side so that you can really see the difference. Just gonna go ahead and start off with one coat. Okay, so there is one coat of the mascara. I mean, you can see the difference. I feel like it looks really nice, especially if you're someone like me who doesn't like to go in with multiple coats of a mascara. I feel like one coat in itself does a really great job, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do a second coat on the upper lashes just so you can see. Okay, so there's what two coats look like. I really like it. I haven't had any issues with smudging or flaking throughout the day or anything with this, so I'm gonna go ahead and quickly do the other side, probably throw some liner in my waterline, and I'll be right back. So jumping into the cheeks, I feel like this is where Ofra absolutely kills it. I love their cheek products so much. I have an entire drawer dedicated to Ofra. Love is real. And then I have the new Ride or Die collection here. So as far as the Ride or Die collection goes, this shade right here called Crew, this blush bronzer, is the one that I would typically reach for the most, especially with the bronzer. I feel like this is the most flattering one for my skin tone. I believe that this one is specifically meant for light skin tones. So the bronzer, I mean, it has a little bit of warmth to it, but it almost has like a rosy warmth, so it doesn't look super unnatural on my skin. And then the blush in here is a really beautiful kind of soft peach. So I think that's the one that I'm going to be using today. I'll just do some swatches as we go through. Those look super pigmented, but I do find them to be more like buildable on the cheeks. And then this next one is called Unit, and I believe this is for medium skin tones. This bronzer is a little bit too warm for me, but the blush is a really pretty kind of cool toned pink. So I really like that one as well. So there's what that looks like. And then we have the shade Squad, which is for deep skin tones. I really love the blush in here because I just love a red blush, and obviously I have to apply it a little bit more carefully, but it's really pretty. See, there's what it looks like. It's just such a stunning color. And then the bronzer I'll swatch, but I would not use this. Obviously, I have fair skin. I just want to swatch them all, and I will be using this little duo as eyeshadow just because I really like the blush. I don't want to pass it along. So here's Squad. And then while we're here, I also want to go ahead and do comparisons from the Samantha March collection because she came out with a bronzer as well. This is the bronzer duo in the shade River. This one I feel like is really good for tan skin tones. There's two different ones in here. There's like a satiny one and then a matte version. I don't reach for this one as much because I'm very fair. So there's what they look like. I also pulled out the Ofra Chicklet Blush Duo. This was also from their collaboration with Samantha March, just in case you own this and you want to see comparisons. So in here, there's a really beautiful kind of satin mauve shade. I don't reach for that one as much. I normally stick to this side because it's more of a soft peach. You can blend them together and get like a satin in between shade. But there's what those two look like. So this one that I just mentioned I like reaching for is definitely more of like a pinky peach than the one from Crew, but hopefully that's helpful to see all of them swatched together. So I'm just gonna dip into a little bit of the bronzer from Crew. Just start working that into my cheekbones. You can see it blends out to be a really good color for me. I'm also just gonna take that around my temples and along my forehead. Oh, I forgot to mention too that I've used this with my skin set and not set because I don't always like to use powder. Today I have a little tiny bit on, but I have not noticed a difference. I feel like it still blends really nicely even if I don't have my skin set, which some bronzers will tend to get a little bit patchy if they're not overset skin, but I do not have that issue with this, which I appreciate. So for blush, I wanted to go ahead and demo one of the liquid blushes that just came out as well, just because I'm so excited. I love cream and liquid blush. It's my favorite right now. So when Ofra said they were coming out with these, I was just like doing a little happy dance. So you can actually purchase these individually or in sets with the blush and bronzer duos. So first we have the shade Authentic, which is kind of like a light pink. And then we have the shade Loyal, which this one's a little bit more peachy, which I really like. Sorry, those swatches are a little bit messy. Just want to be able to show you the color really quickly. And then we have the shade Truly, which this one's a little bit of a deeper peach. So there's what they all look like swatched out. I really like all of them. I feel like to go with this look today, I think I'm going to go ahead and use Loyal. And I'm just going to pop a little bit on. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab my sponge, even though it's quite dirty, and just start blending. Isn't that so pretty? So I didn't actually wet this sponge today. I literally just sprayed it with setting spray because I was being lazy. So I'm going to spray it just to give that dewy effect a little bit more. And the setting spray that I'm using is the Rose Makeup Fixer from Ofra, which smells really good if you like roses. Okay, so I'm just grabbing a little extra from whatever's left on my hand from that shade. Just throwing it on. Okay, so for highlighter, we have so many options. I love Ofra's highlighters. I've talked about them for a really, really long time on my channel, and they continue to be one of my favorite highlighter formulas ever, if not my favorite. Like, honestly, I think that if I could only own one highlight, it would be Ofra Pillowtalk. I've hit pan on 2 of their highlighters. I actually have an entire video that I can leave linked down below for you in case you're curious, where I went through and face swatched all of their highlighters that I own now, except for one. I have one that I did not face swatch just because it's newer. I have this one here, which is the Moondance highlighter from Madison Miller's collaboration with Ofra. I'm pretty sure I have not face swatched this before, but I've used it in a bunch of videos. So there's what Moondance looks like. I really do like that one. It's almost like a champagne. All right, and then I have a Glazed Donut here, which is a classic. This was the first highlighter I've ever tried from Ofra, and I fell in love. First truly blinding highlight for fair skin. I remember buying so many highlighters, and I would be so disappointed in them because they just did not look like the blinding highlight that I wanted. So when I tried this one, I was just absolutely shocked at how beautiful it was. It's just a super, super icy, cool toned white highlighter. So there's Glazed Donut. Also, I'm kind of just sharing the shades that I love that work really, really well for me. But if you don't have fair skin, they have so many different shades and options available. I definitely recommend checking out their website. So this next one here is called Star Island. This one is a really light gold. I'm not going to swatch this because it has Star Island and Pillowtalk, but the March Beauty Word highlighter, another favorite. I've really enjoyed using this one in the past for travel just because I feel like I have a warm and a cool tone highlighter all in one, and I can mix them together or use them apart. I actually purchased this one myself the first time that it came around. You can see that it says at March Beauty Word, and now it is called the Start Inspired Highlighter, which I received in PR, and I gave it to my mom. So she always has a blinding highlight now, courtesy of Ofra. And then last but certainly not least, Pillowtalk, which is my favorite. I know it looks very, very unused, and that's because this one is brand new. Ofra was so kind to send over some extras for me because my Pillowtalk is gone. To be fair, I didn't use the entire thing. I used a lot of it. I hit pan on it. I repressed it. My son broke it twice. My dad actually broke it once, which is why it has the duct tape. But is that not a glow up? Is that not a glow up? There are my 4 favorite highlighters from Ofra. Really, really recommend their formula. I don't feel like it's overhyped or overrated by any means. It is worth it, worth it, worth it. So I'm gonna go ahead and use Pillowtalk, find my highlighter brush maybe, and then I'm just gonna put that right at the tops of my cheekbones. And you can really use different brushes to get a different effect out of this highlighter. Right now I'm using a very precise little highlighting brush, which is going to make it that much more intense. Sometimes I like using more of a fluffy highlighting brush, which I'll show you on the other side, which gives more of like that kind of overall glow. I mean, it's super glowy either way. But if you have any highlighters that you own and you don't love them, I definitely recommend trying them out with different brushes because I feel like you can get a completely different effect. All right, I'm just going to blend this side out more so that it matches. Maybe going with a little bit more on this side so it matches. I just love that highlighter. So last but not least, let's talk about lip products, which Ofra has so many options available, but I just went ahead and picked out a few of my favorites to share with you really quickly. So one of my standouts would definitely be the JenLuvs collaboration with Ofra, because these were specifically created to be liquid lipsticks that will mix into any of your other lip products to change up the colors. This lightest one here, called Revive, is meant to lighten any other colors, and I use this all the time. I just really, really love this one. And then there is the shade Refine, which I think neutralizes. I'm sorry if I'm not getting this correct. And then we have Reimagine, which darkens. So they all have their own purpose. And when I first got these, I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of like a cool concept. Like, I liked the idea, but I didn't know how much that I would really use it, because in the past I haven't been someone who mixed lip products all that often, but I reach for them so much more than I thought I was going to. They just work really, really well. I literally wore this one yesterday. And then I wanted to also talk, I know I've mentioned so many collaborations, but I feel like Ofra just does collabs really, really well. The liquid lipstick and lip gloss duo that Samantha March did, Story, I just feel like this is my perfect fall lip color. I really, really love the tone of this. And then the Millie lip gloss that goes over top is, like, I was not sold on this because I don't like sparkly lip glosses, and I don't like this by itself, but as a topper to liquid lipsticks, not only is it just formulated in a way that it feels super, super comfy, but it just looks so glossy and juicy, and it doesn't get weird. It's just the perfect gloss for topping over liquid lipsticks, so I really like that duo together. And then I wanted to mention one of the Ofra lip glosses. They have a few different ones that are really nice, but Cherry Mocha is the one I reach for the most. This one is more of a satin. They have some that are more like light sparkly shades. This one here, Apricot Dream, is a little bit more of like a sheer kind of shimmery gloss, but it's what I was wearing in my face swatch video that I did with Ofra on my Instagram. So I'm gonna go ahead and wear Cherry Mocha today. Okay, so this is the entire look finished. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you to Ofra Cosmetics for sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.